Okay. How's audio check?
Yeah, I think it sounds good in my ears.
Come along with Shy as you take this ride to a coffee time is every time I sign it up like
Good one. Good one. All right. So,
Better.
I guess, I don't know. I'm not used to this mic, so I don't know where you have to. I know it's an Omni mic.
Ooh.
I mean, you sound good.
Okay, that's good.
Just fixing in post can be annoying. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
All right.
I hate the motto, we'll fix it in post. That gives me,
Because it's a lot of pressure in making sure that everything works right.
just takes me back to pulling 17-hour days.
You did
3
this
days
for
in
a
row.
living.
Yeah.
So
And
this
then
is
I was
a
like,
hobby.
oh yeah, fix it in post. Now you just have to it was called like rotoscoping, and you have to like draw a line around like kelp.
That doesn't sound fun whatsoever.
No, I distinctly remember getting a bit delusional at like 9 p.m. at night, and then having to make a coffee, and then driving home at like 3 a.m.
Did we start? We started then, huh?
Yeah.
This is just starting right now. Okay. Well, hey, Holly.
Hello.
Welcome to LA.
Thank you. It's really hot, and I didn't expect that. I was like, oh, it's gonna be nice.
It's
Oh, that'd be
beautiful.
cool.
It's like 80 degrees outside.
Not when I was standing in the sun. I
Well, you were in
felt like I was
Disney.
sweating. Yeah.
Well, I mean, today or like the past 2 days?
Both. It was bad. Actually, yesterday was really nice. Granted, I did leave my brand new Disney sweatshirt on for more than I should have, and because it was new, it
was
still
cute,
had a
though.
ton of lint. It was
It's
so
fine.
good.
Yeah,
I
looked
loved
good.
it.
I saw the photo.
I saw it on
It looked
Instagram weeks ago, and I was really wanting to get it. I was like, that's my birthday present right there. I was like, I'm going to get that. And then I wore it all day, and then I took it off, though, and I was covered in lint. It was all over, and like I just had like my Lululemon shorts on, just like a blank sweatshirt, and I'm like in line for Snow White, like rubbing lint off myself. It made it great for Instagram.
Exactly right.
Like,
I mean, is that like half the effort now, right? When you go
Kind
as
of.
like an adult, like you have to.
oh, was doing research beforehand. I was like looking for Halloween outfits, and I was like, I don't have anything. I was like, I just got nothing. So I was like, all right, well, I want to be comfortable because it is going to be hot. Like, it's not going to be as cool as I was expecting. And then I saw the sweatshirt. I was like, well,
It's
that's
cute
a look.
sweatshirt. I
It's so-
figured to be wearing an oversized tee.
I did that for day one. I had like my Padme t-shirt on, and then like just like was orange shorts, which is cool. And then like a couple of people as well. Like you could tell that they're like, all right, you guys have watched the Clone Wars, you've watched the prequels, you've watched Rebels, and they would turn around, they'd be like, that's a cool shirt. Also, I had my Lightning McQueen like Target $20 backpack on. So many compliments on that. And I also saw tons of other people with it. It just made my day. I was like, this
So
is
you did
great.
California Adventure first.
Yeah, started
Yeah.
with that because we couldn't get Oogie Boogie Bash tickets.
That was my question.
Ah!
Like, where are you gonna?
So annoyed at that. I tried like both days, could not get anything. Like for me, they went on sale. I think it was like 6 a.m., 5 a.m. So I had to wake up early, get in line. And of course, the days that I wanted to go were the ones that first sold out. I was so pissed off. Could not believe it. So I was like, fine, I've got to work my whole day around not being able to do this. So I was like, California Adventure first. Let's knock out everything. I had a game plan, single rider for cars. Let's go. And then like hopped around, pretty much did everything too. Like we bought the Genie passes. We're here for 2 days.
That's my
White as
dog.
well.
My dog's barking. I
She's
don't know.
very cute.
She is cute, but she's super annoying.
She has to be one of the ones that like goes crazy when the doorbell rings.
Oh no, she's one of those. Like, is it sad to say that she's not my dog?
Yes.
She's not my dog. She's the family dog.
Yeah.
Like, she's not my dog. Like, my dog is still Indigo. Like, that will always be my dog. Like, that was a dog that I had like when I came back from Iraq. Went through everything with me. Afghanistan, marriage, breakup, get back together, marriage, kids, buying house, new children.
Goes through your
So
whole
that
life.
that he went through with my entire life. Like, he was with me. So losing him was like hard. I'm still kind of, oh my God, be quiet, dog. Be quiet. Whatever. It's life.
Yeah.
We're in LA. Anyways, she's not my dog. That's the family dog. The kids love her, and that's essentially what we wanted. And she's doing her job. She's barking at something. It's in the neighborhood. Because
She's doing it.
you're not in a great neighborhood, by the way. I don't live in a great neighborhood. So it's good to have a dog like that, especially when like I can't edit that post. Oh my God.
Just hope it's quiet enough.
I mean,
Maybe.
yeah, I mean, I was going to do this in the back, like in the backyard, but that probably would have been bad too, because she'd probably be running back there and knocks one of the cameras over, and then I would have been really pissed. Anyways, we fully digress. Going back to California Adventure.
So much fun. Honestly, one of my favorite Disney parks. Like, I still need to go to Shanghai, Tokyo, and Hong Kong. Like, that's my goal in life, is one day I need to hit all of them. So that's another reason why I'm like, oh, Star Wars Celebration 2025. I could do everything in that trip. I could go to Japan. I could go to Tokyo Disney, Universal, and Star Wars Celebration. And then if I make a vlog out of it, it's a tax write-off. Like, it's genius.
I mean, as a YouTuber, you could pretty much tax write off a lot of things.
Yeah. I'm like, vlog, as long as you're making money off of it, you're fine. And that's why people, you know, if you see someone doing a $1,000, you know, it's not $1,000. When is a Gucci bag $1,000? But you know what I mean? Like if someone's doing a Birkin bag haul or like Louis Vuitton haul, just remember that's everything they show in that video is a tax write-off.
Even the gas to go get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. It's so much work.
The
The more you write off, though, at least here.
The more suspicious it becomes. I get a notification on mine that says, you know, for your like field of work, your deductions are abnormally high. I've gotten it every year, every single year since I like started filing my own taxes.
Have you been audited before?
Nah.
Oh, it's so scary.
Oh.
Like we have, and we ended up owing not much. It was because what was it? It was something where Venus and I, like we both claimed both children for a year, or my son maybe. Just we both claimed them and we shouldn't have, or whatever. Based on how much we were making, we should have done that. I don't know. So we ended up owing, but getting audited though is frightening. But luckily for us, we don't like write a lot of deductions. It's very simple. Like I just handed everything over. But like as a YouTuber, like when you're or like a business owner, you have to when you're writing off pages of stuff.
So I've gotten really lucky because it's like my dad's had his own business for like over 10 years now. So he's always done like his own books and like
he does himself.
For the last 5 years, like we would go through. It'd be like, all right, year 5 has to be shredded because we have to keep paper documents of like all 5 years. So then when I I guess first started working for him, like he would still teach me that. But then when I started like and technically set up my own like wholly on film business last year, like he was like, right, buy like a folder and a box, put all of your receipts in here. And then too, it's like if I was doing like if I filmed a vlog at Disney, like he would make sure to say like, all right, only do like a couple like the days you really actually worked. And if you're doing like we have this thing called travel allowance that like you can claim for like meals and things like that. Like he would make sure like you can claim it, but don't like push it. Like don't push the limit.
Like don't spend $200 on a meal.
Exactly. Well, not even that. It's like don't like claim like more than like I guess like, you shouldn't. You should like be safe, keep records. So like if it was like a Disney trip, for example, like all right, like park tickets, like hotels that day, flights and things like that. But if I'm not doing anything for the other like 4 days of vacation, don't touch it. So it's like
you're reasonable about what you're doing. But anyways, who paid for Disney?
My parents. Woohoo! I get so many questions.
So
it's like, you travel a lot. I'm like, yeah, guys, airline rewards miles. I'm like so on top of that. So on top of it. Like, again, my dad has like told me how to do it. So it's like, right, airline credit cards, you spend, you hit the bonus. That bonus gets you your flight. So it's like, that's how like we pay for the flights. Disney tickets. Actually, I paid for my Disney tickets, but it's like, it was originally a family holiday, like with my sister too, but then she moved to Dubai. So she got kicked out. So it's just me and my parents. I'm like, well, I'm not paying for the hotel just because she didn't want to be here. Like, I mean, if they asked, gladly. But luckily I didn't have to. So I was like, yeah, it was great. So I was like, oh, cheap vacation for me. And then I like, when we were booking it too, like we timed it around my birthday. So I was like, right, let's go. Have a great time. Thank you very much. It was like such a good time. And then we're doing Universal tomorrow, Halloween Horror Nights. I'm terrified, but so excited. Like I booked it so specifically. I was like, I need to get into Nintendo World at some point.
I haven't gone yet. Last time I went to Universal, I saw them building it. I went to like as far as I can get in, and I'm like, oh, it looks so cool.
It does. I've heard nightmares though, like during the day, that it's like 2 hours for like Mario Kart, and it's like jam packed. I'm like, oh.
I mean, it's a new park. I mean, it's a new attraction to a park, which is usually the case. I remember when Cars opened up the first time. Oh my gosh, it was like a 3-hour wait. Insane. Before getting in, it was way worse than Galaxy's Edge, in my opinion. Well,
I think so. I mean, I remember we went and it was like under construction, so we were like, all right, next year, like we're gonna make sure we stop and do California Adventure on our way home. And like we went in and it was like still like it's been open for a year at this point, 2 hours, and then like several years after, you're still waiting 2 years for that ride. Not 2 years, 2 days.
Yeah, it was still a while. Yeah, it was a while.
It's insane.
I remember. Do you love that ride?
I do. It's so cute. But I'm always like, we always do single rider. Like one of our family friends told us that trip. And we're like, we're all adults. Half the time you get in with at least one other person as well. Because if it's a family of 4, 2 in the front, 2 in the back, 1 on either side. It's genius. So I'm like, oh, cool. So like my sister and I would be in the same car. Like one time we got to sit next to each other because like it was like the mom and 2 kids in the front and the dad in the back. So that paid off for us. I'm like, I'd much rather do that and wait 20 minutes than line up for like an hour and a half just to sit with my family. Like I can do that on every other ride. I don't care.
Technically, you don't need to do it at all. But no, sorry. Cars for me though was so underwhelming.
Really?
Well, to be fair,
it's better than Test Track.
Okay, so I loved every single part of it until it got to the canyons.
Okay.
So when it got to the canyons and everyone was like, "Oh, we're gonna race," and when we did the race, I was just like, "I do this in real life." In California hills and mountains with my motorcycle or cars.
Fair enough.
It's like doesn't feel the same. So I mean, I get it for someone who doesn't do that, but like for me, I was just like, oh, this
well, what's your favorite ride?
Right now?
Yeah,
Rise of the Resistance. That one I think right now is my favorite ride.
That's good.
I mean, for me, like I'm not even close, remarkably close to an inch of becoming a Disney adult. It's not me. I've been to Disney so many times in my life, like for free, because I used to have a lot of friends that were castmates, they were dancers, so they're like, if you ever want to come, just let me know, because I could bring 4 people at a time. And then we had multiple friends who worked at the same time, so I could be like, okay, I need 8. So they gave me 8 tickets. We'd go to park hops, we'd do everything else. We get the fast. This is like fast pass time, so it was like a lot easier. I got to experience Galaxy's Edge like preview. Like the first time when they were like, you need to zip up your cell phones in a plastic baggie.
They did that?
Yeah. So it was just for like castmates and friends and family. So every castmate was allowed to bring like as many people as they wanted.
Yeah.
The only shtick is that we couldn't record anything, which was lame. They kind of fixed that with the second attraction with Rise of the Resistance. Like during Rise of the Resistance, they were like, record all you want, because that you get to do the hype, you get to hype it up, because they only did it friends and family to test ride it, which was cool because there was no line. It was just like going through the whole thing, and I'm like, every time we stopped and something happened in that attraction, it was like, is this the ride? But no, it's just that's just the wait. And I'm like, this is cool. It's like wait, like there's something to do while you're in line. But for Galaxy's Edge, when that whole park opened up, it was like no phones. And so we had to zip lock our bags in this baggie that they checked to make sure it was still locked. It was still sealed on the way out. If it was open in any way, they search your photos and make you delete stuff, which is kind of like wrong.
Yeah.
Right? It felt so wrong. But I was watching them do that. But anyways, I got to experience a lot of Disney, and I'm grateful for those experiences. Like we went, like I feel like I want to feel the hype around it. Like I see all you guys talk about how much you guys all want to go to Disney World, and for me it's just like, oh, I'm so tired.
You've been too much in, I think, too short a time, and
that's probably it. Because for me it was just like, let's just go. And for me, I live not that far. You saw how far it is. It's not that far. But when we recently took my kids there, it was so bad. Like Ezra did not want to ride a single ride. Like I'm like, why are we here? If you don't want to, he just wanted to go on Tom Sawyer Island. That's all he wanted to do. I'm like, we just spent. And it was the first time actually spending like real money.
Did you see they increased the prices again the other day? Like I saw an announcement, like it's gone up even more, and I'm like, Disneyland, and especially California Adventure, if you're paying that much for one single day,
what is it right now?
It's not worth it. I think the like max price has gone up to like $194. It still starts at $104, but like it's not, you never find it for that. So it's like $150, $160 usually.
It's like 3 months out for $104.
Yeah. And I'm like, for California Adventure, there's not enough to do. Like after the first time I did park hopping, I did it when like my whole dance school, we came over, we did like a week trip, and for that it was like park hopper for 5 days. And it was the first time I'd ever gotten to do that. And after I did that, I was like, I can't do that in like one park a day again. Like it's too nice being able to jump between them. Yeah. Such a short walk. And that's why I always prefer, like, this could be controversial. I know Josh is going to hate me for saying this, but it's like, I really prefer Disneyland because of that. Like, I love how everything's combined. Like Disney World's amazing. And it's like its own little bubble. And it always felt like even just walking into like Disney Springs or something, you still feel like you're a part of that. I mean, downtown Disney kind of, but like it's still close enough. Yeah. But like Disneyland, being able to walk in between, like park hop from 11 a.m. onwards and like book my like the genie passes, even though I don't want to spend the money to do that. Like it's just so much better. And I hate the fact that they're charging more for that now, because I'm just like I'm still gonna go because I love it, and it's like I've kind of grown up with it and gone every single year, and it's just like I have that attachment to it now. But I do not think it's worth that anymore. And it's like, especially right now, like we're keeping track of the exchange rate, and I'm like, we paid $50 for like 2 drinks and 1 meal to share between 3 grown adults. Like, this is ridiculous.
Have you seen that TikTok mom like share how much she spent at Disneyland?
No.
It was a great short 50-second video on TikTok. She's like going how much we spent, like every single thing that she's spending. It's like thousands of dollars for like a family of 4. And I'm like, yeah, That's right. I totally agree. That's exactly how much you spent. And I'm like, was it worth thousands of dollars? Like, yes, it was satisfactory, like to see like Luna's face light up, to see like Elsa or any of the Disney princesses. Elsa not so much, you can care less, but like Luna is really into the Disney princesses. So like going to doing the aerial right, which your dad was when you posted that, I was laughing so hard.
He's like, no, I've done this too many times.
That was me. I literally sat outside while they do the aerial ride twice.
It. It's so cute. I'm like, I get to sit down. There's air conditioning. He's like, I can sit down outside. I'm like, but the air conditioning.
It's nice. It's nice and cool in there, especially on a hot day. But like, at the end of the day, I'm like, we spent how much? Like $2,500, $3,000? Like, why? So like, which kind of comes down to like, do you think like Disney can keep this up? I mean, they're going like, their stocks are down. Their movies are doing so great.
I've lost money on them. I'm so annoyed. I bought them the day that like Bob Iger, like the current CEO, came back in.
A lot of people did. And it's down like what, 60%?
I'm like, this isn't fair. Like, come on, guys. I'm like,
I kind of want to buy some right now.
Do it now.
To see it goes up. But as someone who's thinking about buying individual stocks just for Disney, I'm trying to look ahead and I'm trying to be optimistic. But I'm like, it doesn't look good. It doesn't. Disney Plus is like crashing
Disney
out.
Plus is losing so much money as well. It's like, that's why they've like brought in ads, is just like try and make people make money. Cause like finally everyone's realized, like we kind of need ads in between programs to make money. Oopsies. And it's like, I got the email being like, Disney Plus is increasing. And I'm like, at least for me, like we get the Hulu kind of like add-ons included anyway. Like it's not a separate thing. Like the Kardashians and like American Horror Story and like all those stuff. Like I can watch Borat on my regular Disney Plus. Like that feels wrong, but it's great. Like I can search for Borat, but like when I'm at home on like the Australian, like if you use a VPN.
I need a VPN to be able to watch all these. Because like,
so good.
I'm watching all these other shows from like, or people post like they're watching shows on Netflix or whatever, using whatever they're at. I'm like, dude, I really need to get a VPN just so I can watch it. But what's the number one streaming show on Disney Plus right now? What, Bluey?
I think so.
That's bad.
I know.
Because it's not even their show.
No.
So if Disney Plus isn't doing too well.
And Bluey's gone on hiatus as well.
Well, they need to take a break. They're doing a really good job. But shout out to them.
Shout out to Australian children's
shout out to Australia. I mean,
television. They're great. The Wiggles, Bluey.
I don't even know what Wiggles is.
The Wiggles are great.
But anyway, but going back to Disney, like Snow White just tanked. It didn't even come out yet.
It's gonna be so bad.
We know the controversy with all that.
Like The Little Mermaid too. It's like I hear a lot of people being like, "That's the most successful one." I'm 99% sure it was only popular and talked about in the US. I don't think no one at home cared. Like, I know my sister went to see it and she was like, yeah, it's okay. But she said the theater was empty. Like, no one outside of the US cared about that one. And then also it's like, Disney Plus, highest live streaming numbers for like NFL Toy Story. Yeah, that's because that's the only live event you've done. Like, you keep putting out all these highest streaming numbers. But like, no, there's not actually people there watching.
So what do you think a good fix as a fan?
I mean, I think when it comes to the theme park specifically, I think they need to, firstly, especially in Florida, they need more going on. Like, there is more rides and attractions in the 2 California parks than there is the entirety of Disney World, which is ridiculous. Yeah. And I'm like, Magic Kingdom is the most visited theme park in the whole world. Like, it took you 5 years to build Tron. That's pathetic. Like, I went on Guardians, like, Cosmic Rewind last year with Sans and Claire, and it was so much fun. Like, we all loved it. It was fantastic. But, like, you need a little bit more, and there's just not enough to do. Like, they've taken away a lot of, like, the stage shows and things like that. I really like how they've got characters walking around.
Is that, like, after COVID or no?
Yeah, I think so. Like, they're kind of trying to adapt, but it's too slow.
Do you think it's just they don't have enough employees? Because I think
so.
Because during COVID, they let a lot of my, that's why a lot of my friends don't work for Disney anymore, is because they got furloughed and then they never came back.
Yeah, I absolutely think so. I think they've really screwed up with that. Like, I managed to go and see like the Rogers the Musical stage show earlier this year in June. But it's like, that needs to be going all year round. Like, it was really entertaining. I loved it. And it's like, just the amount of people that theater can eat up. Like, you need more stuff. Like, at least in Disneyland, there's not much space.
Yeah.
So increase the entertainment, the shows, like have some more parades going around, more character meet and greets. And Florida, you have the space. Build it. Don't waste your money on a hotel then tell me at Star Wars Celebration that it's not a hotel. It's an experience, only to shut it down 4 months later.
Did you see all the controversy with that? Like
it's ridiculous. I feel so bad for the cast members. Like, they put their heart and soul into that and like had to put in way more effort.
They needed to keep building that up for at least a couple more months to make sure everything was ready.
Yes.
That's one. Two, it should not have been that expensive. That is ridiculous. If like who can afford, I mean, it's already expensive enough to go to Disney World.
Exactly.
To tack on another $5,000, that's like a whole floor suite in Vegas.
It's ridiculous.
It's like, for what? What are you getting out of that? And I was watching a lot of the horror like stories of people going to visit these hotels, and it's like, I don't have running water. Like,
That's bad.
That's bad. You're supposed to be like a 5-star resort. You don't have running water.
At Celebration too, like I watched like the Disney Parks presentation, and they kept saying like it's the highest like customer satisfaction thing, which I have no doubt about that, because the people who are going, like they're spending a lot of money. They clearly want to be there. Exactly. So it's going to have really high customer satisfaction. But at the same time, it's so limited to who can get in that. Like, I would have loved to just walk around. Like, I don't want to join in with like the role play side of things. Like, I can do some things, but that is crossing the line a little too much for me. But I would love to walk around it and just experience it and experience a Star Wars hotel. But I'm not paying that amount of money. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, absolutely no way. Like, I think they really need to listen to people, and also stop pushing your luck with pricing. Like,
yeah, the pricing starting. I feel like, okay, for me, I'm not a Disney adult, right? I'm just a casual Disney fan who loves what they do every now and then.
You want to have a fun day.
I want to have a fun day, but I also have children and like family. So I think I'm like the target audience who they need to try to bring in. Like, I'm a low affinity user in the sense of Disney, and they need to pull me in, and they have zero attraction for me to want to go to Disneyland. So like, for all the Disney adults or the hardcore Disney fans, they know they have you. Just like how Lego, like they know they have us.
Exactly.
It's just, it's the normies that they need to bring in. So low affinity users that they need to like pull in and buy something. That's why they throw all these random sets to see if they can get a new fan in there. So, but for Disney, it just doesn't look good. And I'm kind of sad about that. Did you hear that they're making by Palm Springs like a Disney like neighborhood or resort, something? I don't know what that's supposed to be. It sounds interesting, but I'm like, is that necessary? Like,
can we not lean into the cult side of things?
Yeah, I'm like, I feel like you should. I think they need to go back to the basics. I don't want to get into the political side of it, but I need the agendas that they're kind of pushing, the fact they're not listening to fans.
I think they've lost creativity in all fronts. Like, parks, you're just like, you're throwing an IP at it because it's popular, and like that's it. Like, I love Toy Story, but it's everywhere now. Like, you're doing a Toy Story hotel, a Toy Story land. Exactly.
I get
like,
it.
the hotel in Tokyo looks fantastic, but I'm like, everything else, like, it just feels like it's a little too forced. And then when the movies, like, you're just repeating ideas from years ago, and you're changing it up so much because you want it to be modern. But like, you're missing the point.
No.
Like, I want to watch an old school romantic Disney princess love story. Is that so much to ask?
That's what you signed up for to watch when you watch a Disney's version of a princess story. We already know it's already been changed in its originality. So I think if they were to redo Snow White, Beauty and the Beast, Mulan, Little Mermaid, all of them, yeah. Keep it as close to the original as it was. If they want to do something new, do something new. And like, I think that's what's really hurting them is now it's this expectation. Like, if you're going to show a new princess, if you do Cinderella next, it's like, oh, we already know it's not going to be the same Cinderella. So why would I watch this?
Why would I bother? You're ruining what I know.
If they redid Frozen 5 years from now, live adaptation of it, and it is nowhere
Idina
near...
Menzel and Kristen Bell are back. Just like how they're doing it with Moana. I'm like, it's too early.
It's too early. Or let's say they do like Frozen like 20 years from now, but completely change it. Like, wait, no, that's not what I grew up watching. That's not what kids grew up watching. No. They don't want to see that. They want to see the same thing, but in real life. That's it. Don't change it.
Just make it easy.
Star Wars, though, that's a touch. Did you like Ahsoka?
I did. I really enjoyed it. Like, I think, like, I didn't think it was gonna like end on a cliffhanger, so that shocked me.
I thought it was just gonna end.
Same. I was just like, oh yeah, we're gonna wrap up, and I was like, oh, okay, like, all right, that was weird. I also think like they could have done a little bit more. Like, I think they needed to kind of go into the backstory a bit more. Like, luckily for me, like, I finished Rebels in May, so like everything was fresh in my memory. If I didn't watch the show or I didn't finish it recently, I think I would have been very confused. So I think they needed to go into a little bit more backstory explanation, because like, I get that, like you kind of need to fill in, I guess, this gap between the original trilogy and the sequels, just like we did with the Clone Wars show being a thing. But I think it shouldn't have to be, you have to watch X, Y, and Z to watch it. Like, I don't want it to become what Marvel's doing, because
I'm lost
in
Marvel
messy.
now. I'm so lost.
I have no interest anymore. I'm just like, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Avengers Tower, though.
Of course.
That looks great.
It's
But
Lego,
otherwise
yeah.
with Marvel, I'm dead. Like I'm tired. So if Star Wars becomes that, I don't want to know. And the sad thing is, it's like Disney is the one company in the world that has the money to make Star Wars real and into real life. Like
Yeah.
with what they do in the parks or like with the shows, like they've got the technology, they've got the talent, they've got whatever to become real. And
it kind of makes me like want Lucasfilm just to be by themselves again. Because it took so long just to do 1, 2, and 3, the prequels, and that was it. They couldn't do much, and they'll need a lot more, time and space to do 8, 9, or 7, 8, 9, and then by that time there would have been so much time in between that they could have workshopped so many ways to be able to do it. Like I love Star Wars for what it is. Like I appreciate, I grew up with all of them. I went to the theater for every single movie because when they did the re-release of 4, 5, and 6, I was young enough to be able to watch all of the movies, which hyped me up for 1, 2, and 3. And then as an adult, I was able to watch 7, 8, 9, Rogue, Han Solo. And I loved, regardless of how I feel about any of the movies, I love the ability to go to theater and just be like in a Star Wars movie. Like, this is amazing. And I think, the shows are great to an extent. I like the fact that there's variety.
Yeah.
And they're expanding, the universe where you could actually not really focus on the Skywalker, but like at a certain point, it's going to be like, there's so much. That I don't know if that's going to be good or bad, especially if they don't correlate with their storyline. So that kind of messes everything up. So like, I really also think that Star Wars fans they put a lot of weight.
Yeah, I definitely think so too. I'm just like, you guys need to calm down. Like, I really love that like Freddie Prinze Jr. clip. Yeah. When he was talking about it, it's just like, Star Wars is for kids. They were all for kids. Now it's just for a different group of kids. Like, I love that because it's so true. It's like the amount of, like, I loved going to see The Force Awakens in the theater. There was nothing like it. The excitement.
I liked Force Awakens.
Like, there was so much hype. I really enjoyed the story. It's like, afterwards, yeah, it is repetitive, but it was fun. Like, it's just nice to be excited for Star Wars again. Like, I don't like what they did with the characters, but I don't think the characters were bad. But it's like, people just take it so personally. It's like, oh, but like, how does Rey know how to use the Force? I'm sorry. Did Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker look like he had done all this training?
Yeah,
either?
exactly. That's true. That is true. He didn't have the years in the Jedi Temple under a master.
Exactly.
Like, he didn't.
And I think
he did have Yoda.
Everyone's so engrossed and so passionate. Like, I think it's because everyone's so passionate that they get upset. But it's like everyone's just so mean these days. It's like, it's
true.
just an imaginary universe. It's all for fun. Do I get annoyed at Star Wars sometimes too? Yes, but I still enjoy it. Like, it's just fun to enjoy the universe. But again, I think you're right. Like, I don't want it to get too big either. And I think that was the issue with the sequel trilogy, is it went they did it so quickly. Like, I think even with The Mandalorian, it's starting to feel like that. I'm like, you guys need to write the whole thing. Like, make a set end point. Like, I know you want to make money. I know you want to keep going. But please, don't burn this show out longer than it needs to be. I
feel like the Disney machine is killing it because they have so much. Their overhead is so heavy that they need to push out all this content. And like what you said, Marvel, you're lost. I'm lost too. After Endgame, I tried to keep up, and then after that, I was just I'm burnt. I'm not feeling any of this. I'm not invested as I was before. And with Star Wars, I'm still heavily invested. I love it to death. I have my criticisms, of course, but I'm very open to all of it, and whatever's out there is whatever's out there. I mean, Filoni himself has even messed up his own stuff, so
it's never going to be perfect, especially if you're going to keep doing it, but I want them to just be careful, just go slow.
So with Disney going down,
so are my stocks.
Your stocks going down. Do you think it's going to affect Lego in any way?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, at these days, it's granted, I am a person who has always gravitated towards IP themes. That's always been me. As a kid, I'm Harry Potter. That was, I guess, I had classic sets and clickets and things like that, but Harry Potter, that was the big one for me. And then it's oh, Pirates of the Caribbean. I lost my mind when I saw Lego Toy Story for the first time. It was the best thing ever. I lost it. I saw it in the Toys R Us catalog or something coming back from Hawaii. I loved it. And then Lord of the Rings, that got me to watch Lord of the Rings as well, which was weird. So it's Lego, I guess I realize it does have kind of a power over kids in the same way. But it's I've always loved IP themes. But I also think if those IP themes are struggling, like, I'm not going to be interested. Like with Harry Potter, it's a successful theme.
That's what I was going to ask next.
It's gotten so repetitive, and it's like, I love what the designers have done. Like, I have a lot of respect for them, especially like Gringotts. It made my year. It made me so happy to finally see that set. But then I look at the rest of the theme, and I get that it's like Star Wars, where you've got new people coming into the theme. But it feels like we've kind of run out of ideas. Like the Harry Potter universe, yeah, we've got 7 books, 8 movies, but it's very limited, especially since the license is with Warner Brothers and the movies are not like what's in the books. You can't really expand past that. So it's like there's a couple of things we still haven't gotten. Like I guess like a Leaky Cauldron would be really cool. Maybe a couple of remakes that we still haven't done. But for the most part, it's like, all right, well, people know the Hogwarts Express and people know Hogwarts. Let's just keep doing them all the time. And it's like, I couldn't be a completionist anymore. I don't know why I decided to be in the first place, but I think that is another part that kind of ruined my enjoyment of it. And I just think like that's because we've gotten so many, it's like you've got to make the sets different. And I just think it was like kind of like decreasing almost in quality. And then I guess like in a couple of years time, like it'll probably get better again and be spectacular. Like overall, I think Harry Potter has been like a really consistent theme, and like even their bad sets are a lot better than a lot of other themes' bad sets. But it's just like it tired me out. And then I think like Star Wars has got the same thing again because of like new fans. Like for me, when I bought my Luke's Landspeeder in 2020, for a lot of the time people was like, oh, it's another one.
I don't even have one.
It's my first one. Like this is great. Like, I mean, it's always going to happen, especially if you're buying several things for several years.
Star Wars, there's so much more.
Exactly. You can do way more things. Like, I think they've got the problem where there's so much that they can't keep up with how much. It's like,
true.
All right, Ahsoka show, we're going to do 3 sets, but then we haven't done a sequel set in years besides this like little holiday diorama and like, oh, Phantom Menace, like we forget, like there's just too much to do almost. But like, I'm really excited to see what they do with the Disney sets. Like, I think if they do Disney classic stuff, that would be really good. But even then, I'm like,
I don't know. Disney has to approve all of that. So
exactly. I'm like, I don't know how well this is going.
I don't know.
It should be interesting, but I think it will hurt Lego potentially. I don't think it's going to hurt it majorly, but I think like if people start to lose interest in Marvel, like Marvel sales are going to go down. Like, I don't know how much longer, like even just looking at like DC, like they're only making Batman sets now. Like how much longer are we only going to do Batman sets? Like kids love Batman, so there's that.
Yeah,
so I guess that will keep it alive. But like Marvel, I don't know. Like there are a lot of people who still do love it. Like there's no denying that. I don't think they're going to cancel it by any means, but I don't think they're going to make as many sets as they're doing now.
How many times have you gone to the Lego store to buy a Lego set for a kid?
Well, I mean, we didn't have Lego stores when I was a kid.
No. Like as an adult. So as an adult. So with me,
zero.
Okay, cool. So as an adult, when like, or I mean, it's probably gonna happen to you more often now than it
it's like literally, it's like, all right, I guess like the only kids I would buy a set for, I'm like, all right, it's like all of my friends' kids.
Yeah, that's pretty much what's gonna happen. Unfortunately, we're all Lego fans, so that's kind of messed.
Exactly. I'm like, I can't get anything because their parents are already buying it.
but so as a parent who's buying, taking my kids to other birthday parties, and they already know I'm the Lego guy, I'm the Lego dad. So
he's the guy who's giving
good
gifts.
I'm gonna make sure you get a Lego set. But when I ask like, what do you want? When they say Marvel or DC, I automatically go to the big things like Batman and Spider-Man. Like I don't go in. I won't get like if there was a Moon Knight set, I wouldn't get Moon Knight. Like I would get like something that I know is easy that I think that they're gonna like and I think that's the mentality of why Lego does that, or like why Disney or any other company would want you to sell the same thing over and over again, because that's the key. And working at a Lego store, you're gonna see that Lego store soon.
Yeah.
It was easier like to attract normie specific sets, especially if they don't even know what's going on. They're like, get the Spider-Man set. What are you doing? What brings you to the Lego store today? Oh, I'm trying to buy a gift for my nephew. What is your nephew into? Spider-Man. Boom. There's 6 sets.
Spider-Man mech.
So I think that's why they do it. But didn't Disney say that their merch has dropped?
I think so. I think they're starting to do what Funko's doing, and they're overproducing. Like the amount of stuff that like I'll see on TikTok like every month, it's like, all right, we have 8 new pairs of ears and like all these sweatshirts, and like half the time it's like the classic like cheesy Disney adult shirts that you're like, ew, no one wants that. And then it's like you look at their like warehouses, and like I saw photos, so like in Florida, and like their ESPN center or whatever in Florida, they had like a warehouse sale for like annual pass members, and it was just boxes of merchandise. So it was like boxes of like 50th and that golden like ugly color scheme and like the holographic that they had. They also had like Leia's lightsaber And like at the moment, like I saw a sign, it was like 30% off lightsabers this month only. So I think they are way overproducing what they've got. And then they've got so many different options for things. It's just like,
do you think it's
no
just
one
like an
wants it.
inventory catch up, like from COVID times? Because remember,
Possibly.
like weren't they short with like stuff?
I think so. I
Like,
mean,
just
maybe
selling
not so
stuff?
much with like the anniversary stuff, but I think with just like anything like Star Wars lightsabers and like anything like that, I definitely think so. And I think at this point too, people are like, it's too expensive. Like, you're charging me too much. Like, I'm not paying for it.
Everything does.
Like, it's $50 for a Starbucks tumbler.
Everything's
what the hell?
expensive. You know what's expensive? This watch.
Yes! Which is why I haven't upgraded mine.
Oh, look, I just beat a ring. Look at that.
Move goal complete.
I don't even know what the goal is.
What's my percentage at the moment?
I don't know.
I'm 72%.
Okay, so when I'm getting
time to stand.
I'm getting notifications that you beat a ring. Am I supposed to do that, or are you forcing me?
I don't know. I think I turned them off, but I guess you have like individual friends. So like if I go into my friends list right now, like I think I can go and see it.
You
and Josh.
So no other friends. But I don't see Josh's rings. I see yours. Like when you accomplish a goal.
Maybe Josh accidentally hid yours. Or maybe I don't have my notifications turned off.
He's exercised for like 15 minutes today. Look at that. Standing for 12 hours. I don't really know.
It's probably baseball day. That's what it is.
He's already walked 7,800 steps today. And it's about 7 o'clock where he's at. He's almost there.
I know my mom gets notifications from me too. Maybe I've screwed up.
Yeah, maybe you're like, you're just shoving it down our face. I know I shove it down everyone's faces when I'm like, boom. But yes, I love this watch, and it was
I'm so glad you bought one. I held off for so long. So like I would go to dance, and there was, I think at one point when just as I stopped, it was like 7 people who didn't have it out of a class of like 30. Or maybe it was less. Maybe
when
it was
did you
5
start wearing
people.
an Apple Watch?
I started when did I get it? I think it was last year, actually, in March or something. It's like I'm only recent. Like I had one years ago, and I just bought it secondhand. Mine's like the SE, like the old generation SE. I bought it off Amazon. It was on sale. I was like, I just want it because at the time I was like, I'm going to the gym, and I'm like, I want to know what my heart rate's doing, so that I can like keep track of that. And that was it. I don't really care about anything else. Like I don't think I'm going to use it with my phone. So I just bought the cheapest one. Lo and behold, it's fantastic. I mean, granted,
they all do the same thing.
Exactly. Like the main thing I'm doing is like exercise tracking and like watching my rings. And then like at least at Disney, I was like doing stopwatch timers. So I was like, how accurate's the wait time? But it's so handy just to like get a text message and look and read it. Like
that's
so good.
So I only bought it just to be healthy. Right, because I have dad bod. It got pretty bad, and then I kind of messed up my ankle. Like, remember, like 3 weeks ago, I kind of jacked it up. I went for a run and went, and after that, I was pretty much done for. And I gained a lot of weight because I couldn't do anything. But like now, I'm like this past 2 weeks, I've been working out pretty heavily, running, lifting, and just tracking my steps. I know this could have been done with a Fitbit. Yeah. Ross, I know this could have been done. We know this could be done with a Fitbit,
but it says with my phone.
I know we're total Apple nerds. But the fact that I can like make people like callers, robocallers, and like just shut them up from my phone.
So nice.
I mean, I've caught myself like not having my phone on me, just keeping this in like my backpack or like in another room charging. And I just talk on I feel so dumb, but I also feel kind of cool. And I'm like,
I've done that too.
Hello. But like today, I was like I was the ref for my son's soccer game. I don't know anything about soccer, by the way. Like I'm horrible at it. Like he knows more about it, and he's only been playing for 2 seasons. And I had to ref because we didn't have a ref. And I was just I was like, hey Siri, stopwatch, 10 minutes. And then it was just go. And I'm like, oh God, I don't know what I'm doing. So there's so much on here that I have no idea. Oh, I'm sorry. See, Apple's everywhere in this house. Potential, look, potential spam. Hang up.
Goodbye. Then
you see
before
how, like,
all the devices
connected?
go off, you just mute it before.
It's so bad.
No.
But that's the thing. I love this thing. I don't recommend it for people to buy because I mean, to be fair.
If you're going to get one, you get the SE, the cheap. If you're only doing it for workout, if you think all the other features are useful, or buy a secondhand one.
Yes.
Because people would discount them so much.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you can get the Ultra pretty cheap, like the first one now. I think so. Because, I'm not going scuba diving with this.
No. I also recommend getting the cellular one. I didn't do that with mine.
I did.
And I should have. And I think if I ever buy another one, like whether that be like 2-3 years from now or whatever, like I would definitely buy the cellular because it's not that much extra on a phone plan.
It was only like $5.
Being able to go out for a run, not that I run outside yet. I'm a treadmill runner at the moment, but still, when I start to run outside, not bringing my phone with me would be great. So
I tried that. I mean, I could run without it, but like syncing it up with it will still track my running when I'm running.
Yeah.
But it won't keep, like if I'm listening to Spotify, I need my phone on me.
No, you don't.
I was trying to do it. I don't know how to do it.
Have you got AirPods?
Yes.
Yeah, you can connect it into like the settings. So what you got to do is go onto Spotify and like download the playlist on Spotify. So like the three dots.
So I gotta go
you
that.
click that,
I gotta download
the playlist.
it.
Yeah. So once you've done
makes
that,
sense.
then
I
you can
do it.
connect it.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Well, all my favorite
fantastic.
shows I listen to, Lego-wise, you know who you are. You guys need to upload your stuff on Spotify because YouTube won't let me do that. Anyways, actually, I could download YouTube videos too, huh?
Yeah, you probably could.
I don't have an excuse.
No,
whatever. You should.
You
be
just
running
haven't learned how to use your watch.
I feel such a boomer.
It's okay. It's just a new
it's
device.
a lot.
It's a new. Yeah,
it's a lot. There's a hardcore learning curve, especially because I'm never using Apple Watch. I had another dad tell me how to use the stopwatch. Because technically I didn't want to ref. I wanted to sit in the shade, but they're like, we need to ref.
Relax.
I'm like, you do know I don't know what I'm doing here. They're like, it's fine. Just keep track of the time. If the ball goes out, just pick a color. And they got all this side that's kicking in. And I'm like, okay.
See, by the time the World Cup rolls around, though, you're going to know what you're doing. And then you're going to have to fight.
I learned a lot.
I'm still confused on the corners, but I finally learned what offside was thanks to the Women's World Cup. I was like,
it depends on who kicks it out.
So speaking of soccer, I am so slow. I didn't realize that David Beckham owns Inter Miami.
You didn't know that?
No. I was just like, oh, Inter Miami. Like, they've got Lionel Messi. That's sick. And then after the documentary came out, I started like looking up David Beckham and like all of his kids and like seeing what they're up to. And I was like, oh, he owns the club.
Yeah, he owns the club.
Oh, and I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Okay.
That's one of the few things I know about soccer. But I think I'm starting to like it now that my son's into it.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. It's like I've noticed I used to be very like no sports. Like I would always watch the World Cup. Like always watch the World Cup and support England and be like, yeah, because the Australian Socceroos, they suck.
Are you watching American football?
Chiefs? Can kind of understand it. I had to ask Rod how
No. I'm asking because of Taylor Swift.
Oh yeah. Well, I haven't watched the Chiefs games, but I'm like paying attention. I'm like, okay. But it's like I had to ask first I needed to learn how to play it. So I asked Rod when I first met Rod. I'm like, Rod, you're a football player. Can you tell me how the game works?
How the game works?
Yeah, so I had an NFL player explain NFL to me.
You had an NFL player teach you how to play football.
Yeah, and I still didn't quite get it. And then after watching it a couple times, I was like, okay, like it's similar to the Australian NRL, which is like rugby, but just like I still don't get why they can just do a touchdown and it doesn't have to touch the ground. Like that's stupid. Like touch it on the ground. Do an extra step. Describe the name. But it's like I've started to kind of get it, and it's so weird because it's like I watched the Super Bowl this year, and I was like, it didn't click to me for a while that like the Chiefs were the ones who won the game, and then like the Kelsey brothers were in that, and I was like, oh, Travis, no, I actually know him. He was the guy from the Super Bowl. I was like, oh, okay. And then I like follow this like lady called like Alison Kush on TikTok, and her husband's in the like Raiders, so I'm like, oh, I know him. And then of course like Tom Brady's Tom Brady, so you know Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I know 3 NFL, and then Rod technically. So I'm like, oh, that's 4. So I'm like getting there.
You can start making your own NFL draft.
Pretty
fantasy football.
Maybe soon I'll have a team. Soon I'll have enough for a team.
That's if whoever draft you're in doesn't take all those players before you get to touch one of them.
Exactly. I'm like, damn it. So it's like next I'm going to get into Formula 1. That will be the next sport I get into.
I haven't got into that. Closest thing I know about Formula 1 is Talladega Nights with Will Ferrell. That's all I know about Formula 1.
See,
I should. I know Josh really hypes it up, especially with the Netflix stuff. And like we were just in Vegas and they were setting up the Formula 1, and we're like, what's going on here? And they're like, oh, Formula 1's going to be today.
It's such a mess in Vegas. I'm like, it's so bad.
When was the last time you've been in Vegas?
Last year, I think.
Oh.
So it like hadn't started then, but I keep seeing videos of it. I'm like, this is messed up. Like they're screwing up. But I think like the reason I really like soccer over all of them, it's like, I mean, basketball's very fast paced and I like that about it. But I'm like, I think the fact that soccer's slower, like it builds up that anticipation more.
Because when you finally score something, it means something.
It's so much more exciting.
Satisfying, yeah.
So it's like you really only get those moments if it's like NFL or like basketball or just like any other like fast-paced sport. You've got to wait for those like really intense, like you're moments. At a tie moment. Where it's like, I'm watching the Women's World Cup and I am like freaking out in my seat. I'm like, we're at penalties, like, and the Matilda's going to make it. I'm like, and then I'm like, I'm just panicking because it's like, oh, we're 1-0. It's like, oh, no, we got a goal at the end. Like, it's just so much more tense and I love it. Like, I'm going to try and get to the World Cup when it's like in the US, Canada, and Mexico. I like looked at the cities. I'm like, oh, you get direct flights to all of them. That's going to be so good. I don't know how I'm going to get tickets. I'm going to try and get them to an England or
Have you been to a baseball game?
No. That's one I still haven't done. Like, I know how to play baseball. I'm like, that's easy. Baseball was always a good sport.
Yeah, but have you been to a baseball game?
No. Aren't they very long?
Of course, but I mean, baseball, it's fun to watch if you're really into the team or if it's something important. There's something about being there in person with like the vibe of like the crowd.
Oh, the atmosphere is always the best.
Yeah, that's what really makes, because essentially you're just really there talking trash, and then like you're having a good time, eating, drinking, like intently watching what's happening. But for the most part, like it's just the overall experience of it of a baseball game is actually worth going to more than watching it on a screen, I think.
That's what I've realized about sports as I get older. I'm like, like a lot of the time it's just the environment and just like also like being able to like support something and like see them go, and then you like talk to your friends about it.
Do you have a team at all? Like
not really.
Not really.
I'm still getting there.
I mean, yeah, okay, fine. If there's a sport to choose, which one would it be?
I think at the moment it's soccer. But like even when it comes to that, I'm like English Premier League, like I don't really have a specific team. I'm just like, all right, like England national team, going for you. Australian Socceroos, you suck. Matildas for the Women's World Cup and like women's football, soccer, you're my pick.
I haven't
I need to get a
track
specific.
of that. I should. Like the new there's a women's club league now, right?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, there's a bunch. I know like Natalie Portman owns the LA one. I feel like tickets for those are pretty decently priced on like the Dodgers
even
and
our
Lakers.
World Cup's tickets were so cheap. Like, I mean, now I think like because I guess Australia hosted it, the Matildas did really well. Like we bought our tickets and they were like 25 Australian each. That's like $15. I'm like, what? Like
right now?
Like a couple months ago. And I'm like, now that it's happened, and I think now people have realized it's a really big thing, like tickets are going to be more expensive, which is good because it's like, they're so much more skilled than our men's team. Our men's teams suck. They're so bad. They've always been bad. I'm like, but it's really weird. I think the only sport I do actually have a team for, though, is Formula One, ironically, even though I don't watch it. And it's McLaren, strictly because my grandpa used to work for McLaren. Okay. So when I was like 1, my mom like took me to like his like office or something. It's like, bring your granddaughter to work day. And he like held me inside a Formula One car at the McLaren office.
That's cool.
So I'm like, sick. All right, I'm a McLaren fan, no matter what, even though I don't think we're doing very well. But, you know, I'll go for McLaren. And then I'm like, all right, Lewis Hamilton, you do Mercedes, okay. And then there's like Daniel Ricciardo or something.
You know
he got
so much
out
more
from
than me. I don't know any of those names.
I got so excited when the McLaren Technic car came out, except I hate Technic, so I didn't get it.
Okay, I was asking, did you buy it?
No.
I
was like, oh yay, McLaren, that's me.
Live vicariously through Josh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, that's
Watch
cool.
his video, all his Technic videos, even though I don't care a single thing about Technic.
I watch whatever Josh posts.
Same.
It's funny.
Josh, can you post another video, please? I'm waiting.
It's been a minute.
I know you got things to do, but like.
I mean, Sans just posted 2 videos today.
I'm so happy
a video
about that.
today, a vlog video, and then another video before that. So he's been killing it. Yeah, he's been killing it.
I'm not.
I haven't. I've to be fair, I've been kind of like everywhere. Like I posted something on my vlog channel. I posted something on this channel on the podcast, and then I posted a bunch of shorts. And I'm like, I need to be. And my next video, I have to build a bunch of stuff, and that's what's taking me forever.
See, I went through a mini crisis. I was like, I felt like I looked at my channel. I was like, I don't think it's cohesive. And I like freaked out for a second. I was like, And then I was just like, I think I need to just like recenter and go back to basics. Like, I think I tried like the whole meta thing. Like I never went fully into it. Like I'd always been resistant. And I know Sans had gotten on me. She's like, just try it. And I'm like, I don't want to. And like, I think I would get close, but I never really committed outside of the thumbnail. And even then I'm just like, I don't know.
Do you grow without posting?
Well, I know I've lost 5 subscribers yesterday and the day before, and I was like, uh-oh. But like I used to grow, but like this year, like it's slowed down so much, and I think like
is it the lack of Harry Potter,
I don't know,
or is it because you started venturing something else?
I think it's because it's I mean I'm putting it down to the fact that it's not cohesive at the moment, and I'm like, look, like I see that. I don't blame you. Like nothing is like kind of matching up. I think I tried to dabble in too many things at once, and I think also like the fact that I was like, hey, I don't want to collect everything. Like I know there were people being like, you're so negative type of thing. And I was like, well, firstly, you didn't listen to the whole video. Like I did explain why I don't want to, and I get that it's not for me, that's fine. But yeah, I think it just looks so messy. And I'm like, I just need to like refocus. Like I need to.
So what do you, what does that look like?
Well, I know the Barbie video is my favorite one I've ever made.
That was fun.
I loved it. It was so much fun. Like it was so much big passion project.
You can tell you enjoyed that.
Yeah. And I also felt like I got to be really creative with it. Like I tried things I'd never really done before. Like I put a bit more effort into the graphics. Like I built a big mock as well. So I want to try and do more stuff like that. Like I think mocks, like I always still want to do
mocks
a few
centered
reviews
about
here and
what
there.
Though?
Well, that's the thing. I think it would kind of dabble between the themes I'm interested in. So it'd be like Harry Potter, Star Wars, maybe an odd one here or there, maybe a couple. Like I'd like to try and do like a smaller, like I guess like more standard modular sized like Avengers Tower. That would be cool, but I don't know if I'd commit to building that entire thing. But I think like doing more stuff like that, like I guess just like thinking more about like the personality and like personal connection side of things rather than like the whole, what is this amazing video topic going to be? Split screen thumbnail, teal and orange. Like there is a lot of people having a lot of success with that. And I just don't think that I'm one of them. Like I don't think that's for me. And I'm happy with that. Like I think because also if everyone's trying it, like it kind of reminds me of like this quote from The Incredibles, and I bring it up so often these days, where it's like if everyone's super, no one will be.
Yeah.
So it's like if everyone's doing that type of like super hyper edited videos, which like I don't watch them, so why should I be making videos I don't really watch outside of like my friends and like all of my friends that do it? I really enjoy what they're doing. Shout out to Michael.
Shout out to Michael.
You have the slowest hyper edited videos, and I appreciate that because it means I can watch them. And like even like I love how Sans is doing his videos. Like I think that's fantastic, and I'm like that's the closest I could get. But it's like it's not for me. Like I don't want to do that. I think having that more personal connection, that's the videos I watch. And like if I'm watching them, like I should make what I want to watch. And I also think like if you're more attached to that person too, like I think maybe there's a little bit more longevity. I mean, only time will tell.
Well, yeah, I mean, it comes down to like who do you want your audience to be? Unfortunately, more people are kids, so you'll go faster if you cater to kids.
Exactly.
But like, how long will they stay watching your stuff is like the bigger question. Like, or you might have a bunch of followers now based on what you're showing off, but how long until they stop watching? You know what I mean? So, but that comes with everything else. And I'm no YouTube girl. Like I just watch my friends I really just have fun doing it. And I'm like putting a lot of energy into this and has no views whatsoever, but I'm like having a blast. Like, look, you're right here. You're in LA. Like you're not even supposed to be here. You're supposed to be like in Burbank.
Yeah.
Like
going to the Cheesecake Factory
Cheesecake Factory in Glendale. Going to my old store that I got fired from.
Yeah. Get my stamp.
Get your stamps. But like I invested a lot of money into this crap. That I hope
don't know how to use properly.
I don't know how to use this properly. I'm figuring it out. Okay. Like I said in the last episode with Brent, like I fell in love doing this with like, I love making videos. I love making videos. That's the only reason why I'm here. I love the community of Lego, like the people like you guys, like I love the overall atmosphere and the idea of it. And that's the reason why I post. So like, I don't have a cohesive thing either. I watch myself. I'm like, my shit's everywhere. Like I do castle, I'll do like military stuff. And then I'll do some random, like talking trash about Lego type of stuff. Like it's kind of random. And
then I love that.
I pulled the vlog stuff out. Claire kind of beat me in the head with that. So I finally listened. So vlogs are gone. They're on their own separate entity, but like everything's kind of separated. But my Lego stuff is not cohesive either. I mean, it's, I guess, a little bit catered to like two separate areas. Yeah. But for the most part, I don't know where it's going. I don't know where it's going to be. It's just, I just want to post stuff that I enjoy and I get growth of it. And then sometimes I don't, but I don't foresee myself ever blowing up on that channel and any of them. I know that's probably negative and I probably shouldn't do that, but for me, like
it's a passion project.
It's a passion project. Like I am probably the happiest I've ever been in my life right now.
Yeah.
Like
that's good.
Like you have no idea how happy I am right now. Like I've never been this happy.
Oh, yeah, you do look a bit sad right now. Like where's a big smile on your face?
Well,
okay, you should be grinning.
Right. So, I'm out of the military, so that's good. My MC life is not as heavy where I want it to be. So that's like the area of my life where I need to put more effort in.
Yeah.
I finally found a career that gives me a perfect work-life balance.
Nice.
I've never had that in my life. And the fact that I majority work from home, it allows me to like find flexibility. It also makes me work more because I end up just working more than I should. Yeah. But like I found a job that I'm happy doing. I'm not like stoked about it. Like I'm like, this is great, but it pays me well. It allows me to be free on the weekends and do stuff like this, to go travel around the United States or the world.
Yeah.
My wife, my kids, like being able to spend so much time with them. I think that's been like the biggest priority. Like, and that's what's taking me away from the MC world. Is just like the motorcycle world. Like I had to be there all the time. I had to do a lot of it. I ran a lot of it. I had to meet a lot of people. I had to like create a lot of events. And because I'm prioritizing my kids, also because I don't want to die on the bike all the time, like it's been really having me focus on what's really important, which is why I don't post heavily on YouTube. It's just I have time, I'll post. Like I do like put a lot of effort into stuff like this, as I should. But right now, like for example, Thomas having his daughter.
Yeah.
Like watching my friends have they're either their first or second or third or about to have their kids soon, or maybe. Fingers crossed. this joy of like kids at this age before they say screw you, dad. You know, like I'm trying
Before
to,
they turn on you for a couple of years and then realize that I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, because you're gonna lose them until like in their late 20s and they realize, my parents are actually awesome. So yeah, I'm just happy. I'm in a good spot.
Good. Not really.
I just kind of put it all on myself in the end. I shouldn't have done that.
That's good.
I don't know.
I mean, really, I've been stuck in like an in between, and like I'm excited for next year. Like I feel like next year's gonna be great. I'm looking real forward to that.
Me too.
But like,
I'm so excited for you.
I'm just like waiting for this year to wrap up, and then next year.
Now I feel bad because like you're just going on for saying like, yeah, my content's not really it's not going anywhere, and I'm like, yeah, my content's not good either, but I am really happy.
But our lives are great.
My life is great.
And I got nothing to complain about. I got to go to Disneyland. I get to travel.
You're going to Universal right now. Yeah, you get to travel.
It's gonna be great.
I'm not gonna lie. As I start having children, I am starting to become more afraid of flying.
Okay, you gotta get it on a plane.
It's no. I mean,
you gotta do a longer trip.
We just went to Vegas and back on a flight. It's more like we can die, and then our kids are like.
Plane is the safest.
No. I know that. It's more of traveling without your kids.
Oh yeah.
Like if something were to happen to us, then our kids are orphans.
Don't worry, that doesn't go away when they travel without you. Then you'll panic, and that's what happens with me.
I'm terrified of that. Like, how
my
does
mom
your
stopped worrying now. She's like, she would always worry. My dad'd be like, "You're fine. Like, I trained you well."
Is your dad cool that you're here?
Yeah, he's fine. He's like,
I thought I was gonna have to like shake his hand.
Have you met him before? And then I'm like, yeah, I met him the same time I met Sans and Claire the first time. Like, we're good. It's like, okay. And then like my mom's like, Shytime is my, and like she will like watch like video, like she watches everyone's video. She wishes Claire would do more cooking, to be honest. Like that's her feedback. But it's like she'll like keep tabs on everyone, so she'll like, okay, got it.
Okay, cool. So that was my like, okay,
but like
cool.
they don't care about me anymore. They're just like, yeah, you know what you're doing. You've done this enough. Like, we trust you. You've got friends. Like, we know you're not alone. Like
the trust in you watching you travel all over the world without them. I mean.
My mom freaks out about my sister, and then I'm like, do you worry about me? And then she's like, no. But I'm like, but I'm in the US. Like, it's a scary place. She's like, no. I'm like, oh, okay. Good to know. I know I'm not the favorite, but it's fine.
The US is a scary place. It is.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot can happen places.
Here. Yeah. No,
sure. I guess like, especially Australians, like people are always like, oh, like it's bad. It's weird. And I'm just like,
it's weird.
I mean, I feel safe.
It's not consistent.
No.
It's definitely not. You could be in so many different places in like a short little time.
Like, I've always felt fine.
All right. Well, I hope you come back.
I will.
You will, because you're like half your time, half your year out of the.
You guys have 2 Disney parks. You got Lego conventions. I'll come back.
Damn, you fly. How much of your life is flying on a plane?
I did 40 flights last year. Individual ones. That includes like ones that would have like a connection technically. 16
hours per 15-ish?
I think I spent 2 weeks total traveling. I think
what's a flight? Like what's one from?
Well, at least from here to LA is 14 hours.
Gross.
I know.
That is disgusting.
Most of the way it was quite good.
14 hours on a plane?
Yeah. I'm really good at like time zones and like sleeping on planes now. I bought this neck pillow where I can put my head in. So red-eye flight, easy.
That sounds so painful.
It is.
Oh my God. Like I like flying east. But flying west.
Oh, it's horrible.
It's horrible. I'm like,
so
3
bad.
extra hours. I get it. Oh,
ew.
Oh, dude, this is horrible. But yeah, so like, how many flights last year?
40.
40? Gross.
I'm so tired, man.
You should just like move here before this hits on that note, before that like dies, and you need to get to your cheesecake. So let's go.
Yeah, I'm hungry. Good night.
Bye.
Give the scoop, you'll go part for part and give a great review. You want a heart to heart, they're sitting on the stoop. We're not concerned with the views of the Lego group, cause we're the misfit bricks. This is what we do.